Hey guys, Deborah Lindsay, and I want to talk to you today for some professional tips and tricks for all of you tapping professionals out there. So, today I'm going to talk about something that I think probably is a little controversial, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. And that is the use of violence in EFT tapping. So, something that a lot of people don't talk about is the fight, flight, or freeze response that people go to whenever they're in a traumatizing experience. So what happens is, you're either going to fight, you're going to flee, or you're going to freeze. And it's so often in modern society, the only option that people have really is to freeze in place. So what happens is they never get the natural exit of the energies around that trauma. So if you run away, right, all of the energies in the body get invoked. You breathe heavily. The adrenaline goes. All those sorts of things, and that gives the body a pathway through which to express that trauma. So the same thing is true if you have somebody who fights. Boom, you hit somebody. You get that fight response out also gives the body that sort of superhuman stuff that's going on, right? But in freeze, that never happens. And that's what sends everything into this autonomic response that over and over and over again, you have the same sort of imagined response to, and not necessarily imagined, you have the same physiological and imagined response to a trigger of that particular memory, okay? So what I espouse is giving people a way to get that trauma out. And because the subconscious can't tell the difference between what's actually happening and what's imagined happening, I have them imagine imagine finding a way to get their power back out of the situation, even though it's an imagined response. So for instance, today I have a client who had severe pelvic pain, and he couldn't get over it, and so he fell for a medical doctor who offered to cut him open down there, right? And some new technique that was going to solve it, made all sorts of promises, spent $20,000 of the family's money, all but put the family into bankruptcy. And of course, the surgery did nothing except bankrupt the family and set him back by a year. On top of that, what happened was he then took pictures of that surgery and put it into a book and used his surgery, which is completely non-successful, as a way of promoting it to other people. And those other people are now getting cut open and hurt in the same way. So he has all kinds of rage, just pent up rage about this experience. So what I had him do was imagine the response that he would really love to have. So when we were talking about it, I'm like, hey, what do you want to do? He's like, I want to blow up the effing clinic, right? I want to blow it up. I said, all right, we're going to do it. We're going to blow up the clinic, right? So in his mind, while we're tapping, we gave his subconscious the ability to move out of that trap. So he goes in there and starts beating on the doctor, blowing the place up, and just giving his body and his subconscious a way of expressing all of that hurt and anger and fury and terror and all of the things wrapped up into that emotion. So a couple of things could happen. He could express it, get his body back into balance, and he could give the autonomic nervous system a way of reconciling that freeze mode to get his body moving again. Highly successful. Now he can think about the event without having the charge. So while you like it or not like it, I'm going to tell you, imagining violence can be very powerful as a tool for EFT professionals. Hope it helps.